Test. What's up, guys? I'm your host, Francis and Dad. Tonight, I'd like to talk about, the old-fashioned topic, entrepreneurship. I just had a bit of chinwag last night with one of my Aussie friends. I addressed a couple of hot topic, such as visualization skills of the entrepreneurs, and how exactly to make your speech, the conversation rhythms more dynamic and easy to understand, easy to comprehend, and also how to make your audiences want to listen to you. Well, visualizations. Whenever we start a conversation with somebody, anybody, basically we are performing some kind of inception, inception, or the injection of your ideas into someone else's mind. It can work, both ways. It can work in either in one direction only. Also, it can work, in both directions. You perform an inception to your audiences, or to the subject that you to whom you are starting the conversation with. Or either you choose to initiate the conversation, or you actually participated in that conversation after it had been initiated by somebody else. So it really depends on who started the conversation, and who initiated the conversation, who built, who take the initiative to build the rapport amongst the audiences, or between you and your audiences. If you like to see this, or to perceive this as a simple engineering schematic. So what really matters in visualizing your speech and your presentations? What really matters? That's the critical question that we always have to keep asking ourselves. Also, on the other hand, you have to ask yourself, what do you wish to achieve? Do you wish to become a genuine business owner, or and that business, that genuineness of a business owner, it implies that you have a business entity where your workers work for you, and comply with your commands with loyalty, with sincerity, as well as with not only with all, but also with some sort of love, some sort of passion and compassion as well. These such type of love that does not build up itself in a vacuum. It has to be, it almost always has to be like a two-way, two-way inception, in Inception performance. You can perceive it, you can consider it as some sort of Inception performance. You hire somebody else to build your dream, rather than you get hired by another somebody else, and you help that particular person to achieve that, to achieve his or her dreams. So you ultimately you make the final call on to which that that directions heads towards, and also you will have to constantly perform the self-evaluation, self-assessment, like just like you did in college, at uni during your college life, where you did the peer assessments for the group assignments, group projects, group tutorials, group seminars, etc. Blah blah blah, something like that. And yes. There's one more thing that I almost forgot to mention about, is the, seminar, event planning. Yes, you have to plan it in prior to making the presentations. Kind of, somewhat similar to to the presentations assignments that you had to do during your college years, or during my college years. In my case, I had, I confess that I failed to do much of the decent planning before the actual assessments were being carried out. So that's why I had to drop out from college. That constituted to one of the to my failures at college. I do admit, I do confess, that's a pretty shitty way to confess my own failures. But still, I judge them. I judge some of the the so-called entrepreneurs. They just they are subjective beings, and they misgave the media, to the general public, and about their about how they actually achieved and attained their goals, and how they actually planned it. But it wasn't really the actual history that occurred during his entrepreneurship career. So you just have to be basically skeptical about everything that they are trying to inject into your brain. And they have based their life about making themselves look like a picture, of a role model on the magazine, on the on the films, even in the video games. They are trying to idolize themselves, and in some regards, yes, I must admit that I must admit that. With the right lighting and the touch of makeup, it makes people look charming, look attractive, and that in terms, it makes what they said to you more convincing. You know, we tend to fall into the trap of charismatic characters, charismatic, looks, charismatic tones of making a speech. That's the mistakes that we all tend to make, more or less. That you have to agree with me, right? Right, dude, mate. Anyway, thank you guys for listening or watching, sincerely. And I can't really think much of those so-called entrepreneurs who just sell his or her life experiences to you for and they charge an exorbitant amount of money just for their plain life experiences, their failures, their success. Actually, sometimes, and more or less, most of the times, what they sell to you is completely BS. You ultimately have to make your own choices, do your own research, your own practicals to make that step forward. I'm your host, Francis Andet, signing off. Stay tuned for my next video clips. Thank you again for watching, sincerely. God bless, have fun, enjoy your day. Cheers, bye.